This place is a mess. And it used to be so clean. Like I had all of this cable management up there and everything was done so well, but I've been dabbling with the PC. It's crashed a few less times recently. So I want to wall mount this, and then I have a PlayStation 4 that I haven't played in years. I'm always so busy, it seems like, just making stuff for YouTube. So I could get out of this chair. I want to take this and put this on a wall in some form or fashion, and then have a little spot to charge my controller. So let's start with the cleanup process. I don't like cleaning up. Let's start with the cleanup process first though. Okay, so the desk is cleared off. Everything is taken off of it that could be taken off of it, other than the Apple Watch, but I don't really know where else to put that. So everything is just sitting on my other desk back here. And I'm trying to figure out exactly how I want to situate this setup, because there are a lot of things I could do. I have a bunch of room under my desk. I just need my feet to fit in a little spot. These things that are under here can all move. They're not permanent, so I think I may put the computer under here. Because the problem is if I wanted to wall mount the computer, the only logical spot for me to put it would be to put it like right here. But then since I'm right here, the cables have to be like 10 feet long each in order to get all the way over there to the monitor. Obviously this, maybe not 10 feet, but like 8 feet probably if I wanted to route the cables up along the wall. So that's not a good option. And obviously I don't want to put it on any carpet. Good thing I don't have any of that in here. So I'm thinking I may just put it on the ground and just deal with that. Thoughts? Then the question comes up, where do I put my PS4? I haven't been able to play this in probably almost 2 years, a year and a half, and I really miss playing it, and I want this to be on the wall, because I like stuff on the wall. And I don't really know why, I just don't like it on the ground, because like it's so messy that if it's just on the wall, it has a place. So I want to put this on the wall somewhere, but again, I'm not exactly sure where I want to put this at. There is an option right back in this part of the office. I could put it somewhere like right here, but then I was also thinking about maybe just placing it right there. I'm not exactly sure, and I don't want to put it anywhere else because again, I have to run super long cables to it. So I'm leaning towards right there. I already have a few power strips that I could just easily plug this guy into, so let's just do that. Okay, so it's on the wall. It feels relatively sturdy. I moved this screw and then this screw down here is just not even doing anything. It feels relatively sturdy. I like how I have access to the CD slot up top, so that way it just slots in. I think this should work. There's a decent chance that this does just break. I'm not sure if this is officially sanctioned by Sony, but we'll see. So now I gotta route the cables from underneath here up into here and up into the monitor. And the cables are officially routed. Well, one of them, the power cable. I still need to run the HDMI cable. But let's do a test to see if it turns on. Lovely. And now when you hit the power button, my controller I haven't used in so long. I have to charge. I have to keep it constantly on the battery. Okay, so I have the computer underneath the desk. Now routing these cables is going to be, are you gonna focus? When this said the GH5 had bad autofocus, they weren't lying. This is my little puppy. Paisley, say hello. Oh yes, you're a good little dog, aren't you? So I have the computer underneath there, and I just need to route the cables up there, so we're gonna do that very quickly. Paisley, stop licking. So I have the cable ran from right there to right down there. So all of the cables are run to the computer right down there. And then if you look up, there is a little thing on the wall right here, and all of the cables are routed in to that. I know I'm definitely going to be running into some bandwidth limitations, but basically I have the monitor plugged into here, I have my audio input thing plugged into here, webcam plugged into here, and then hard drives also plugged into here, and then a single cable is running down and into the computer down below. So now we can hit this on for the first time, and it turned on. That's good. I think I'm gonna have to manually switch this over. There it is, it's booting, and it boots up. So now that that's all done, I did want to talk about the new 16-inch MacBook Pro. There have been a lot of videos made about it in like the last month, or maybe even before that. And I just wanted to think a little bit harder about it, my exact thoughts on it, because I didn't want to say something that I didn't actually think. And I think that the 2019 or 2020 16-inch MacBook Pro is like no big deal. I think it's like a non-issue. I have been thinking about this for a while, and it doesn't really matter the size of the computer with Apple, because every one of their computers deal with the same problems. The 12-inch MacBook Pro deals with thermal throttling. The 13-inch MacBook Air, thermal throttling. The 13-inch MacBook Pro, thermal throttling. The 15-inch MacBook Pro, thermal throttling. It doesn't really matter the size. It's always the same issues with Apple, whether it's the MacBook Pro or the MacBook Air, whatever the computer is, there's always the same problems with Apple. And that main problem is simply this. No matter the size, no matter the build, no matter what's inside of it, they all throttle thermally. Apple has always taken design over performance. Yeah, they put in powerful CPUs and relatively powerful GPUs, bunch of RAM, storage, yada yada yada. They put all that into a very, very beautiful form factor. But at the end of the day, the CPUs can never really take full advantage of their actual raw performance and raw power, because they're always being thermally throttled. So at the end of the day, the 16-inch MacBook Pro is going to be a cool laptop. It's going to be really expensive. Yada, yada, yada. Make your jokes. It's an Apple product. Of course, it's going to have a premium. They give you so much with macOS. No one ever considers that. It's super annoying. Windows is fine and dandy, and yeah, you could build a way cheaper Windows computer that has the hardware that will kill any MacBook Pro. But that doesn't matter, because macOS includes so many free versions of software that Apple custom builds themselves. There are free video editors available on Windows, but Apple custom builds iMovie for you. I'm sure there are some free music players or music creators like GarageBand available on Windows, but there's nothing available from Microsoft. I'm sure that Google Docs is available on Windows, but it's not custom built by Microsoft. So everyone always complains about the price of Apple computers, but macOS is a really, really big part of that, and probably about half the cost of everything. I'm not saying it's fair, I'm just saying that's the nature of Apple computers. But it's gonna be expensive, and it's not gonna be what people think it is. It's just gonna be a bigger version of 15-inch MacBook Pro. It's not gonna have any better cooling. It might implement one more fan, but honestly, it's just gonna be a 15-inch MacBook Pro that's just a little bit bigger. That's it. A few more pixels on the screen, and it's not gonna change the world. It's not gonna change the game. Honestly, the 16-inch MacBook Pro is just a nice little, increase in size. It'll be kind of cool to see them fit a pretty big screen in a pretty small form factor, but that's all the 16-inch MacBook Pro basically is. Peace out.